Thunder from Down Under, Neil Robertson. Mark Williams.
Well, this promises to be a fantastic evening of entertainment in Bolton. Two great left-handers, two great players, full stop. Both came through dramatic group finals. Of course, Williams the win over Karen Wilson. And we saw what it meant to Neil Robertson to beat Judd Trump. Let's see if he can put himself into the Champion of Champions final for the first time. Neil Robertson is a twice winner and once runner-up. In fact, this is his 6th semi-final. It's Williams' first in this tournament.
Yeah, I just hope it's a free-flowing match tonight and it doesn't get bogged down into sort of, you know, a sluggish, sort of scrappy match. Mark Williams doesn't tend to get dragged into that kind of match. He's very clever when it comes to the tactical frames, working out the ways to getting them won. But we saw Neil, obviously, huge pressure in his match against Judd. At the end, he started to do a lot of walking around the table when the pressure was on. But we'll see how this match progresses. But Williams is a phenomenon. He really is. The snooker he's still playing, he was absolutely magnificent against Karen Wilson.
One.
You'll be able to hear clearly at home the different sound it makes when Williams strikes a cue ball and when Neil Robertson does. Nothing to do with technique, just to do with how hard the tip that Mark Williams uses compared to Robertson. I mean, to my ear, it sounds horrendous. I couldn't play with a tip like that, but he manages to do it. That's what he prefers.
7.
Yeah, and knowing
8.
Mark, he'll enjoy the fact it annoys everyone else. Like when he used to do that break-off shot just softly into the back of the pack. But he's playing some seriously good stuff again. Of course, he came really within a couple of balls of winning that big new ranking event in Saudi Arabia.
$15. $16.
Typical Mark Williams fashion. He's going to take all the loose reds before going into the bunch. Different from, say, a Judd Trump or you could say even a Neil Robertson, who would possibly go into the pack of reds quicker.
23.
Yeah, rather than into the open. Mark Williams trusts his cue ball control to leave it to the last moment. Angle in the black looks okay. He'd like to make full ball contact with a pink here at pace. Didn't quite get the pink, but still a good shot, and he's on a red.
31. $32.
the main bunch is a beautiful target to go into them from the blue. You can see the two reds side by side where the pink would normally be. That's a fabulous
37.
target to go into them from the blue.
$38.
The cue ball's just travelled a couple of inches too far. You can't get into the sort of main meat of the pack, if you like. You can flick the red that's on the right. That in turn will bring other reds into play, but he's just got a more acute angle on the black than he wanted. The more towards the right hand side of that red he hits, the more reds will get brought into play. Decided just to try and bring that red out on its own and hopefully
45.
be on it to pot, but does it go past the blue to the far left corner? I think it does.
Mark Williams, 45.
I felt since they reclothed the table, the pockets seem a little bit tougher, and got close enough to that, but it didn't drop. But a nice early visit nonetheless. Neil Robertson, of course, he's got Joe Perry in his corner. I saw them arriving actually 3 o'clock this afternoon, and maybe that's one thing that Joe has instilled, a bit of timekeeping. So he's been here for a good few hours getting prepared for this match.
One.
There is Joe, of course, a long-time professional. He's actually a member of the class of '92. That's the year he turned pro, along with Mark Williams and Ronnie and John and various others.
Six.
I sometimes think the pace of Neil Robertson's play is dictated by the pace of his opponents. If his opponent is not a quick player, he tends to get bogged down. Mark is not slow, so in turn, I think that'll make Neil play a pace that suits him better, a pace where he plays his best snooker. There isn't a player playing that doesn't benefit from getting on with it more. As soon as you start getting bogged down and overthinking things, it's not good.
Neil Robertson, 6.
Well, the head-to-head certainly favours Robertson. It's 13 wins to 3 to the Australian. He's won the last 7. So Williams' last win over him, 2017 European Masters. There have been some memorable ones amongst them since then, including at the Champion of Champions 3 years ago.
This first red, if he can hit it into the second red in the baulk cushion on the right-hand side, as he looks at it, it'll send both reds back up to this end of the table. Something like that, yeah. But that just shows you that Mark Williams will not get bogged down into... Neil Robertson plays a lot of negative safety shots, lots of dead weight rolls into the pack, not want to give anything away, but Mark won't get sucked into that. He's too clever.
Yeah, and he's earned himself a second opportunity in this frame, already 39 to the good. So he won that little duel, forced the game open again, and now looking to reap the rewards.
It's a strange part of Neil Robertson's game, actually, because the rest of his game, when he's in, is so aggressive. When he's in amongst the balls, he's long potting, break building, but his safety play can be very negative at times.
4. 5.
Williams has had a longer career. They've actually had sort of similar success. Both actually won 35 professional titles. Williams has won 2 more ranking titles. But of course, most importantly, he's won 3 World Championships. Robertson still stuck on 1.
11. $12.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier that Ronnie's now working with Lee Walker, who's Mark Williams' well, one of his best friends, but obviously his coach as well. And Ronnie has obviously seen how well Lee's got Mark playing. You'll see before every shot Mark plays, he just sort of steadies himself, gets himself online.
26.
But it's been a very impressive start to the semi-final.
27.
You see that very clever safety with the 2 reds on the baulk cushion that he played. Just was not going to get involved in anything negative. And it's 1 on the frame.
I just think it's very fascinating, the contrast in personalities. You know, the celebration we saw from Robertson, you wouldn't see that from Mark Williams, I don't think. And even just sort of sat with the guys in the crowd having selfies. That's almost like sending a message to Neil. Look, I'm really relaxed tonight. This is just a night out for me, playing snooker. It's all part of the character of Williams. But the bottom line is he's still a formidable player.
42. 43.
Just this great touch he has. And
50.
it is a new cue, and you know he turned up at Cheltenham for the British Open, could barely pot a ball, but has practiced with it. Missed that one, but the frame is his,
Mark
and he
Williams,
dominated
50.
the frame in the end.
And the frame.
Breaks a 45 and 50. Off and running then in the second semi-final of the Champion of Champions. An all left-handed battle. Mark Williams leads Neil Robertson 1-0. Saturday night at the Champion of Champions. We know, of course, Xiao Guodong is into the final. Who's he going to play, Mark Williams or Neil Robertson? Mark Williams leads 1-0. And as I say, in the end, dominated that first frame. Mark Williams, of course, in his first match of the week, beat Bai Yu Lu, the women's world champion. And in the last few minutes, she's won her first qualifying match at the UK Championship. There's 4 rounds of qualifying. And she beat Farah Kajaib 6-4. So she's into round 2. Great win for her. I know she enjoyed the experience here. She won one frame with a big break. And has carried a bit of form into another big tournament. I actually asked Mark recently about his eyesight. You know, he's supposed to be going at the age of nearly 50. And he said, shots like that, he said, I'm just guessing. Well, that wasn't guessing. He caught that perfectly. This is the thing, I think, with Williams. There's no obvious weaknesses in his game. So Robertson has got to try and play to his strengths, which is very much the attacking game, getting in with long balls, making big breaks. Yeah, nothing doing down this end. They're all covering one another.
One.
Yeah, when Neil Robertson's long game is on point, it's a very potent part of his armoury. When that's working, it creates opportunities to score. And invariably when he's playing well, he scores very heavily. And that looks like end of break.
3.
Couldn't generate the pace of the yellow because there wasn't the perfect angle. Couldn't generate the pace in the cue ball to be able to bring more reds into play, to go into the pack fast enough.
Neil Robertson, 3.
Chance at another long pot here. This one's a little bit more pressure on this one. As you can see, there's reds available should he miss it for his opponent, unless he's screwing the cue ball back up to baulk. And he was. The only thing with that, I always think it takes a little bit of your focus off the pot when you're thinking about safety, and then you have less chance of potting the red. Didn't fully commit to the pot. And the pot here for Mark is difficult enough, but negotiating the cue ball out of there without making contact with a red is going to be tricky. A mile off the pot, but luckily for him, the path of the cue ball took it back to safety.
Foul. Mark Williams, 4.
Well, I suppose better in than sort of rattling and leaving a red on down this end.
Foul.
I played a very good first frame, Mark Williams, but that's 0 from 4 long pot attempts. So he needs to improve that stat as the night goes on. It's very difficult at this level to create scoring opportunities if your long game's off, because then you're relying on mistakes from your opponent. Excellent safety shot from Neil Robertson. Not even sure if there's a path back to baulk. Maybe there's some reds to the left of the black. Maybe if you come off them very thin, but maybe forced him to go for this pot to left corner.
One.
Typical Mark Williams, 0 from 4, but then pots the most difficult one that he's gone for. But he won't be potting anything else.
mean, ideally you want the cue ball obviously away from the reds, but I can just about see the black, just tickling up to it.
Mark Williams 1.
Big part of the season, isn't it, for Neil Robertson? He's dropped out the top 16, so even if he won the Champion of Champions tomorrow night, he will still have to qualify for the UK Championship next week. And if he doesn't, he won't be at the Masters. So although it will be a massive achievement to win this off the back of the English Open, you could still miss out on a couple of really big weeks of snooker. The other side of that is, of course, the confidence of winning this could well carry him on a bit of a run through those tournaments.
One.
Well, he worked that out well. It was awkward queuing apart from anything else, and there was a distance between the reds. Funny enough, the player just in front of him in the rankings is Zhao Guidong. So Neil's got to do better than him at the UK to go past him in the rankings.
Neil Robertson 1. Can we please make sure the fans are switched off?
A lot of respect between the two of them, both great long potters, so the safety has to be good. The first two left-handers to be world champion. Williams first, of course. 2000 and then 2003. Neil Robertson 2010. Williams again 2018.
Foul. No miss. Neil Robertson 4.
Neil Robertson asking referee Tatiana Wollaston to replace it. Of course, another miss, and there'll be a warning the third time because you can see plenty of reds full.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
Just wants to check in
Please.
that it's in exactly the right spot, which is fair enough. Marcel Eckhart on the marker's desk helping out.
Okay. Neil, thank you.
Yeah,
Well,
so as I say,
yes.
it's a pretty easy decision for
Robertson.
Robertson this time, not even waiting for the cue ball to stop, and he's nodding his head. So there'll be a warning, and if he doesn't hit a red, it's frame awarded to Neil Robertson.
Mark, okay, happy? I have to give you a warning. Call a miss for the third time, you lose the frame. Yeah. You want to check again?
Yeah, if you could.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Marcel, sorry. Okay, yeah.
Well, again, he just wants to be absolutely sure the cue was in the right
Absolutely
spot.
friction towards the green. Absolute friction. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, classic shot to nothing. Always safety, key element of that. Sometimes these matches can be quite free-flowing early on and then they become a bit attritional later on. This is maybe started that way. Well, it could have been a worse result for Mark Williams, that.
It seemed a fairly straightforward shot, but it took a minute for Neil Robertson to decide on it and play it. This frame is getting grisly. There's certainly one red available to right middle, but to be honest, I'll be shocked if he takes it on. Just with the way he's playing. I think you've got to play it. So I just think, what are you going to take on? What are you expecting to be left in this sort of situation? I mean, it's not the deciding frame, it's only 1-0. But, no. I think Mark might take it on, you know?
Well, if neither's going to take anything on and it's tip-tapping, I mean, this could end up a re-rack this frame. It's been 11 minutes since the ball was potted. Are you enjoying this? Mark Williams asks.
Touch and ball.
Someone shouted out a re-rack,
Okay.
and that's what they're going to do. So that's 25 minutes. We're not getting back. Neither player willing to push the boat out. There was a chance at a red to middle. Leaving the lot, I guess, if you miss it. But anyway, it seemed to be heading that way, didn't it, a few minutes ago? And I think the crowd may be quite happy that this frame's going to be starting again. Slight exodus for the bar, it's got to be said. We had one, didn't we, in Cheltenham? It was Mark Selby, Mark Allen. I think it was half an hour, the first frame of that match. But actually, after that, Mark Selby came out, completely switched it up. Really started to open up an attack. It's early days, and Robertson hasn't made a break yet, but his average shot time's 36 seconds. Now, bearing in mind in the week he tweeted that we need a 35-second shot clock, he'd be in trouble, wouldn't he, right now? The buzzers would be going off like an amusement arcade.
Okay, Neil. Thank you. The second frame. Neil Robertson to break.
So it's still 1-0 to Mark Williams. We've had a re-rack in frame 2 of this big semi-final here tonight in Bolton. The champion of champions, Zhang Yudong, awaiting the winner tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a trend in the game that you know it seems to be a lot of aggression and going for shots seems to be going out of the game rather than the game getting more aggressive. It's getting more defensive.
One.
That's more like it. Not the easiest black. Cue ball close to this cushion. Yeah, that was superb. So easy in those shots to take your eye off the pot, concentrate on the cue ball.
8. Nine. Fourteen. 15. 22. 23.
I guess the beauty of snooker is every frame is different, and you know this could be a total clearance for all we know. He's in first, as Stephen said. He'd like to pick them off, usually. Trying to get them going here. Open a few up. Could have finished a little better.
30.
'There's a little gap through the middle of the reds. He's just looking at it now. Just trying to stun the cue ball through that gap. Little delicate little shot. Little soft screw. Ah, beautiful.
31.
And again, there'd be a few players, certainly myself
38.
included, would have gone into the reds there from that black, but say Mark goes about break build in a different way. Preferred to leave himself from distance, this red to left corner.
39.
He relies on his brilliant potting. Again, he's going to take all the reds available first
46.
before doing something with the reds.
$47.
And he's not got an angle in the blue. Just thinking an opportunity 2 or 3 shots ago
52.
off the black to go into them, develop the reds.
$53.
Well, that was another fabulous pot to keep the break going. And there's a beautiful target of green or yellow. I prefer green, just with the shape of the bunch. You go through that gap, try and make contact with the 3 reds that are together. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, he's not going about it the way that a lot of players might, but he's got the job done of bringing the reds into play. Now it's just a matter of converting this chance and winning the frame.
57.
Yeah, didn't want to hit the blue there, but as I say, this is what happened in that British Open semi-final. We had the re-rack, and then suddenly Selby just stepped it up, went on the attack. Just needs to get on another red, and it's surely his frame.
Well, the way he's played that, it must be a plan to left corner.
62.
No attempt to get the cue ball up this end of the table for a single red. But in taking the baulk colour, he's going to need another red to secure the frame. So he needs a good positional shot here. That plant has not really put those two reds into a good position, or certainly easy to get on. Yellow to put him 65 ahead with 67 on the table. This is missable. He won't be doing anything with the cue ball, he'll be making sure the pot, but this is certainly not a gimme.
Well, we had 25-minute stalemate, but this has been 8.5 minutes of pure Mark Williams doing it his way and doing it superbly. Robertson already needs 2 snookers. The black stays out though, so he does get the chance to play for them. If the black gone in, it would have been frame over for sure.
One. Eight.
Might seem an unlikely cause, but when they played at the Masters, it was referenced in the interviews Rob did with them both in the decider. A couple of years ago, Robertson needed 2 snookers, got them and won the match. That was back in 2022.
Neil Robertson, 8.
Of course, he went on to win the whole tournament. There is something different about deciders, though, because pressure obviously really comes on. Be surprising, you would feel, if Williams lost this frame.
1.
Well, it's not in, but he needs something in now. It's pink. To be fair, you fancy Neil Robertson for those with his dead straight cue action, but now he's taken a pink 51 and it 43 on, so it's 2 4-point snookers to tie.
Neil Robertson 7. Frame conceded. Frame Mark Williams.
Well, he's left the red on, so he's conceded. It was Mark Williams who did the damage, and it's Mark Williams on top in the early stages of this semi-final, leading 2-0. It's only Mark Williams' 4th time in the tournament, strangely. And it's the first time he's reached the semi-finals. Neil Robertson, of course, is a twice champion in this event.
Sorry. Oh, okay. Marcel, can you please close the curtain?
It's just a slight issue they're asking Marcel Eckhart to sort out.
Oh.
Something in his eye line.
It's as much as he can, probably.
Yeah, so maybe just a little gap there behind the curtain.
One.
Well, that's more like it. It was Williams who got in first shot of the last frame and made a great break. Can Neil Robertson finally get going tonight? It's all been a bit stop-start from him. Average shot time 35 seconds. All that will come down if he can make a nice break here and get involved in this match.
Eight.
Yeah, it was a beautifully struck long pot to get in.
Nine.
He'll be playing for the red. I'm convinced. The red next to the black here. Get that away from the black. Bring the black into play. He can play for the 2 open reds to the left if he wants, but the scorer that Neil Robertson is, the break builder in him, will want that black in the open. And that was a nice shot as well in the pink. It'll be interesting to see how differently Neil Robertson goes about this break. Does he get an angle in the black from this red straight away, try and open the reds up?
16.
Yeah, straight into them. It's just a different way of break building, but I think he's just looking at the body language. He's absolutely disgusted by the result of that.
Touch and ball.
But yeah, Mark Williams probably would have played for the 2 open reds there. It's just a difference in the way the players see break building.
Touching, yes. Neil Robertson, 23.
Well, it's frustrating, I guess, from a really good long pot to get in. That all came to an end rather prematurely. The last time they played each other, actually, in the English Open 2022, Williams had a maximum, although it was Robertson that won the match. He's a player that Neil Robertson would have looked up to, not least being a left-hander, you know, seeing him, all the success he had.
One.
Oh, what a pot!
One.
Yeah, it's hard to know what he was doing with the cue ball there, the way it reacted. Oh, that's beautiful
Mark Williams,
touch.
1. Sorry.
The cloths are so fast. He's probably not going to get much of an advantage from it. This is not a difficult shot, but to roll up that close to the green was nice.
I think the difference between them is it doesn't seem to bother Mark Williams if it all gets a bit disjointed, whereas it doesn't seem to suit Robertson. He's more attacking. Now, has he found a plant? Or maybe a shot to nothing? No. Just more safety.
Well, that's the second time he's done that in a safety shot. Did it in the first frame as well.
1.
Well, Robertson must be concerned here. His highest break only 23. He was in earlier. Just didn't land on a red. Trying to develop some. But other than that, it's Williams who's made the running really in the match. His safety's been better. He's forced a couple of openings, including this one. Playing a good sort of match play game all round, really.
5. Six.
A little bit tentative with that one. Again, one of these cut-back blacks. He's so good at those shots. He's just a fantastic potter. He always has been.
13.
He used to always be called the best single ball potter in the game, which I still don't understand what that means, but
14.
But it's similar to that. It's just being able to pot yourself out of trouble when you're not in position.
$21. $22.
He told me that he turned professional initially because he was 17 and there were 2 junior age divisions, 16 and under and 18 and over. So if you were 17, you had nothing to play in. Whether that's right, I don't know, but that was the summer of 92 when he lined up with hundreds of others, including certain RonnieO'Sullivan and Jay Higgins, but there were lots of others as well who
29.
thought they were good enough. Most weren't, frankly.
$30.
Yeah, the previous shot was a bad one. He sort of looked up to the skies when he played the last red. The last black to land straight on that red. Didn't get any side in the cue ball. Another one of these. This time it's not there.
Mark
So
Williams.
he'd be disappointed.
30.
Mark Williams, his cue ball let him down there.
Yeah, and this is an important juncture of the match for the man at the table now, Neil Robertson. He's got to start getting involved. This is a chance. All these reds are possible. This is a chance to get a frame on the board and start getting the juices flowing a bit.
1.
He loves the big stage. We saw his reaction when he beat Judd Trump. And he wasn't here last year, was he? He wasn't in the tournament. First time he'd ever missed the Champion of Champions. Must have been a pretty rotten experience, sat at home in a tournament that he's had such success in.
$6. 7.
Obviously didn't want the cue ball tight on the cushion, just restricts what he can do with it position wise.
$14. 15. Twenty-two. 23.
The red is potable. The red next to the pink to right corner. In the end, that was a bit clumsy,
28.
really. Overhit that by a long way.
Neil Robertson, 28.
Looks like he can get through to this.
1. Neil Robertson, 1. Foul. No miss.
We'll try doing that again.
6. Back. Marcel, can you bring it up, please?
27 the difference now, 35 on. Robertson thus just needs the red. If Williams were to get the red safe, though, there's nothing else safe.
Yeah, spot. And towards the red, half a ball. Towards the red.
Towards,
And
sorry?
slightly up. Slightly up. No, up.
Up.
And towards you, like 2 mil. Very good.
It's not a natural angle that Mark's got here. He's trying to actually screw the cue ball into the cushion to create, as I say, an unnatural angle to square the cue ball up.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Only Mark Williams.
Well, try doing this again. Incredible, and the blue has come away from the cushion, so this would be unbelievable if he could steal the frame here. He was banging trouble.
I mean, it was a brilliant hit. As I
3.
say, when you screw the cue ball into the cushion, it arcs the cue ball a bit. But a huge piece of fortune. We've seen a lot of actually frames won this week with huge bits of fortune. Neil Robertson himself against Judd Trump. Zhao Guodong, yellow at the end against Mark Selby.
8.
Absolutely flew in as well, didn't it? And as I say, the blue might have gone safe, but it's come back across.
$12. $17.
Well, another Australian, Eddie Charlton, actually wanted Fluke's band. And Neil Robertson might sympathise after that. Pretty cruel. Mark Williams makes the clearance. Very, very dramatic. He was bang in trouble. He got lucky. And he's shown no mercy. And he's halfway towards the final. It's 3-0. So Williams has certainly been the better of the two so far, regardless of the fluke. Big frame this. Can Neil Robertson get on the scoreboard before the interval?
Oh, he's left a red, a tempter again from Mark Williams. The difference, this one and the last one he potted in the second frame, was those reds he can leave should he miss this. Not an easy starter for Neil Robertson. The red to left middle or the red to the left corner. Yeah, I imagine he'll probably play the one to the middle, because the one to the left corner, you've no idea really where the cue ball is going to end up. May play back down for black here. No, I decided to play it slow.
1.
Nice pot. Yeah, this is a huge frame for the Australian. Very difficult to make an argument from winning from 4-0 behind, even though Mark would need 2 frames, but 3-1 and a best of 11, it's not too bad.
3.
Not good, but not too bad.
It just felt like sort of shackles had been on him a little bit, and if you can just break free, play the game that has brought him so much success down the years, he can of course turn this round.
4.
Starts really here in this frame.
Yeah, it's just, there's a couple of blacks into the pack. He's
11.
just not judged them well. He's not got into a rhythm yet in this match. He's still at 27 seconds a shot, whereas Neil Robertson at his best is around about 19, 20 seconds a shot. I know there's been some scrappy stuff so far, but you just think that he needs to get himself going,
Neil
a bit of
Robertson,
inspiration.
11.
Again here, I mean, he could have left a sitter, couldn't he? After that shot.
The red is not too difficult. Controlling the cue ball is. Do well to get nicely on a colour here. That's a fabulous shot. Lots of drag, lots of right-hand side. He was just looking at the pink spot there, whether the pink will go after he pots it. He's up quickly. He's still going to be on this red, I think. To right middle. I don't think the pink goes in the blue spot, so... Or does it? No.
7. 8. 10. 11.
'It was a great target, wasn't it? And they've split
16.
nicely. So this is a big chance now for 4-0. Although some of the frames have been quite hard fought, it's turning into a much more one-sided match than I think many predicted.
Seems a strange thing to say when he's 3-0 ahead, but there's pressure on this break for Mark Williams because it's very rare when you're playing at this level against this level of opponent in a semi-final that you can get a 4-0 lead at the interval. What a chance! Yeah, that was a twitchy one. That was a quick one. He's not on this red properly.
32.
So he knows the importance of this visit. That was a really poor shot, a really poor strike of the cue ball off that black.
$33.
Nicely on the blue.
$38. 39.
'That was a better shot than it looked.
46.
Mostly, it's probably 80% stun, 20% screw on that shot. But if you get into the cue ball too much,
47.
it's end of break. I'd like to have an angle on the red to left corner next in order to make a little cannon on the other one. Because it's just a little bit awkward, and that looks just about perfect.
54.
I say perfect. Maybe he'd rather be cannon in the red that's closest to the pocket. He can in this one now.
55.
He's a little bit of a higher black. Wouldn't expect him to miss it.
Needs just a couple more pots here for a 4-0 lead. In goes the black, and he's nicely on the red. He's had the running. The flute was big in frame 3, but he's also made the running, Mark Williams.
62.
He's been positive. Neil Robertson has been unable to find any fluency. Yes, he was unlucky in frame 3, but his highest break is only 28 tonight. He's a big one for looking at the numbers in the interval, the stats that we have on our screen, and he will know they've all got to improve in the second half. He could still win from 4-0 down, but he's going to have to start right from the off in frame 5. And of course, he's not playing a rookie, is he? He's playing a legend.
70.
So Robertson, we saw how delighted he was to beat Trump and win that group. I'm sure he's been looking forward to this. He's banging trouble here. He's annoyed at
Mark
that.
Williams,
Snookers are required, but he wanted to kill it off cleanly, not give Robertson any sort of glimmer. You can see, you know, the laid-back Mark Williams there. He wasn't happy about that.
And that was worryingly far from the pot from Neil Robertson there. Yeah, Mark's frustrated because he knows this frame could last another 10-15 minutes. The only thing Mark's thinking about here is the black ball. I mean, if the black wasn't there, he'd be down playing a shot already. It wouldn't be a problem hitting the red. It shouldn't be a problem hitting the red. But this is the only thing in the back of his mind as he plays this shot one-handed. He's different. Having to swerve to hit the red. He doesn't want to give Neil an easy chance to put 2 reds, 2 blacks, and then leave himself the red that's closest to the black. Because if he gets the cue ball somewhere around where it is right now, he can lay a really nasty snooker. He's got to get this. Or else you think it's frame over. No, brilliant, brilliant. That's one thing actually that's been working tonight. His long game has actually been pretty good. A little bit unlucky if he's not on the black. That's a fabulous shot. You could see how much swerve he was putting on the cue ball. Digging down on the cue ball, right hand side. Keeping his faint hopes alive of winning this fourth frame. Well, another fabulous pot. He can be forgiven, but sort of giving up the ghost in this frame. Already 3-0, looked like 4-0, but he's putting everything into this. Neil Robertson. Got to give him credit for that.
16. Neil Robertson, 16.
Needs it to run, and it just about has done. This is where it gets interesting with one red on. Free ball is always floating in the background as well. There's lots of snookering balls as well. You look at the table. I mean, there's chances here for Robertson.
Could get in pretty tight behind the blue here.
Just terrific. You saw Robertson immediately tap the table.
As you said, Dave, though, the ball's in great position to get snookers. He's got to be careful here. There is a gap, but it's not a lot. And putting right hand side onto swerve, it pushes the cue ball directly left. Could easily collide with the pink. This is a horrible shot. You've got the best view.
2 Houdini escapes from Mark Williams from tough snookers.
Yeah, it was over 10 minutes since he missed that red in the middle. And that's what I'm saying. That's why the players are so irritated when they don't pot that extra ball, because they know what's in store.
Go on, Stephen, you tell me, why does he play those shots one-handed sometimes?
You're asking me to explain Mark Williams. I think certain ones, when he's just playing with topspin off the cushion, I think he says he can line him up better or something. But why he would want to play any shot one-handed if he didn't have to, I don't know. But Neil Robertson is having some absolutely granite snookers.
Can he keep escaping? He's done brilliantly so far.
Oh, surely there's not enough room to come off the baulk cushion. He needs an absolute ton of left-hand side. Oh. I mean, this is an incredible game of cat and mouse from these two players. Neil Robertson is, as I say, you have to give him credit. The effort he's putting into this frame to try and somehow pinch it. No, this is not a good shot. This is not a good shot. It's the first poor one he's played. Mark could go for the pot. He could even tuck Neil up himself behind the brown.
Yeah, so Robertson now has lost control of this exchange. He's got to escape, but obviously if he leaves the red on, then it's 4-0 for sure. It's been a valiant effort from him. Well, a bit of fortune, but I guess you can't begrudge him after the massive fluke Mark Williams had in frame 3 when he was snookered on the last red. But that has shifted things right back towards Robertson again.
Yeah, it would be ironic that the penalty points he does get is from a fluke snooker when he was snookered himself.
Foul. Neil Robertson, 4.
He's going to be in trouble again. That was an unbelievable bit of fortune for Neil Robertson, though. It really was. Not just to lay a snooker, but to lay an absolute evil snooker.
Well, I'm sure they both well remember that Masters semi-final just under 3 years ago when he did get 2 and won their decider and won the whole tournament eventually.
Mark Williams would be delighted to see that cue ball go tight on the cushion. It just makes it so difficult for Neil Robertson to do anything with the cue ball. He can't manipulate it. He can't impart any side or control it. I think this will just be a little containing shot. Well, again, he's been very lucky. Very, very lucky. Mark won't miss the snooker, but that wasn't played. I mean, you have to say both players have laid incredible snookers in this passage of play. It's now closing in on 18 minutes since Mark Williams missed that red in the middle.
Foul. Mark Williams, 4.
Well, we're back to where we started. He now needs the 2 again to tie. If Williams, though, can pot the red, then that's the end of that.
Yeah, he didn't want to play it slowly. Playing it slowly would have given them a better chance of potting it, but he doesn't want to leave the cue ball and the red close together, because that makes it easier for Neil Robertson to lay a snooker. Well, let's move the yellow, which was obviously, that yellow and pink has been the target for most of Neil Robertson's snooker attempts. Who needs snookers here?
Well, he's nodding his head. He's seen enough.
Frame.
Mark Williams then very much on top after the first 4 frames of this semi-final of the Champion of Champions. Neil Robertson needs improvements in all areas. He's not made a 30 break yet. Williams 2 from the final, leading 4-0.
But he'll be taking nothing for granted. When they met at the corresponding stage of the Masters a couple of years ago, he led 4-1 and 5-3. Beaten in the end 6-5 on the black after Robertson had required snookers in the decider. This is not over by any means.
Yeah, you're dead right, Phil. Mark Williams, full of experience. He won't be letting up. It's an old saying in any sport. When you're behind, you never give up. But when you're ahead, you never let up. And these 2 great champions know both sides of the coin. Been there many times. But I feel he has to win this frame, Neil Robertson, just to get himself going a little bit. Needs a bit of momentum. Can he knock this long one in? Yeah, that's better. That's a good start. I think he's had a look at the black already. The black does pot into the right corner pocket. And he's thinking a few shots ahead. Blue up into the green pocket. Pink is available as well. And he's one of these players, isn't he, Phil, that if he does get on a little bit of a momentum, he's such a wonderful scorer. He can reel off frames very, very quickly indeed. But he needs to start, and he needs to start here.
Yes, it's doubtful he can win a whole succession of frames against Williams in bits and pieces. He needs to score. And as Jill highlighted in the interval, Robertson's high break so far, 28. I think that's one of the most surprising numbers of the match, if not the most surprising.
Yeah, and I think that previous shot is just atypical of what's been happening in this match. You should have had a much better angle on this red. As you see, it's almost straight. Didn't get into the cue ball enough. And struggling with position. And subsequently, this is what happens. I mean, it was a straightforward blue into the green pocket. Should have had a nicer angle on that red. And that would disappoint him. He's such a wonderful, prolific scorer when he's playing. But he's just making things awkward for himself. His cue ball control has been really, really poor so far. Yeah, we'll see. He played on a possibility of 3 reds there. You see them lined up into this left corner pocket. So he can get on the black from the middle of those 3 reds.
And
if he's got a slight angle on the black, he could maybe push into the red just above it. Try and bring those 2 reds close to the black into a potable position. Not straightforward. Could go wrong. Has he hit it hard enough? No. Body language would suggest not. So once again,
17.
Struggling with the cue ball. Not on it.
Neil Robertson, 17.
Not a bad way to leave the table, but he didn't want to leave. And Williams can get through to the thin edge. And if you get involved in a tactical battle with this man, I think the vast majority of the tour would come out second best.
Yeah, he's such a wily fox when it comes to the tactical department of the game. So tactically astute, not many better than him in the game, as you said, Phil. And there's a... Oh, I think he's got away with this one. He's been lucky.
After what happened in the third frame, I don't think we can begrudge him that.
Well, he may be on this red here, playing it off another red.
One.
Has he hit it? And he's dropped his head. He's just a little bit pacey, but and this is an example of Mark Williams. He's such a clever player, you know, a real shot maker.
Mark Williams won.
And Ken, the value of these little roll-ups behind ball colours entirely determined by how the reds are. If they're all packed together, not really an issue, but they're open here. This is perhaps a little dangerous.
Yeah, it is. He's trying to lay on the red just to the left of the black. Is it going to reach?
Foul.
Oh.
Mark Williams 4.
Yeah, that's the red he's trying to just lay on. Good line, so shouldn't be a problem. Well, I don't think it was that close because he's got more of the left-hand side cushion. Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to play the same shot. It's just all about same line, just a little bit more firmer. Doesn't want to go by the red. Has he misjudged it? I think he has.
Foul.
Oh, what a
Miss.
mistake.
Mark Williams 4.
A really unusual one as well, because he judged the line of the first shot ideally. The second was well wide.
One.
Yeah, I think when the referee, when they put the balls back, you've got to really step back a little bit, you know, and just pick that line again. Sometimes it can just stop you from seeing the original line. He didn't do that there. He just got down and played it a little bit quicker. It could be very costly. Oh, he's missed it. He's missed it. He hasn't missed many easy ones.
One.
The black was a pressurised shot for Mark Williams because he knew it was the key to the door. A door that led to 5-0 perhaps.
Yeah, not completely straightforward here. The pink goes back on the spot. It's going to tie it up a little bit. It's not going to be a straightforward break. This black is in an awkward position. If it was away from the cushion, it would be so much easier for Neil to get it back in the spot. But he's going to have to do a bit of work here to make a frame-winning break.
8. 13.
Oh, nice. Like to have a nice angle when potting this red. Yeah, nice little angle on the pink.
14.
So when he pots the pink, you can just nudge into the red, just above and to the right of the pink. Move that out of the way and leave a red into the bottom right corner pocket if he has the angle. Yeah, there's the angle. If he stuns the pink in, just maybe just stuns into that red. He's stunned into the other one, but I think he's all right for a red into the left corner.
20.
Yeah, no problem.
21.
How he needs a nice break here for Neil Robertson to win the frame of this visit, just to give him a little bit of hope, a little bit of confidence, a bit of inspiration.
In previous meetings between these two, there have been 3 whitewashes, 1 6-0 and 2 4-0s.
27.
Robertson responsible for all 3. First order of business for him, avoid being blanked himself.
$28.
Yeah, we always say, you know, intervals sometimes come at a good time for a player and a bad time for another. They can change momentum in a match. It's all before the interval, all Mark Williams. Neil Robertson comes out, wins the first couple of frames, and then the pressure starts to build on his opponent.
35.
But he has to win it in one visit. He can't do it in bits and pieces. That's not bad. He'll settle for that. Not exactly how he played it, but
40. $41.
And this is a frame ball. There were certain junctures in the first half of the match where you thought a Robertson
47.
fight back might be getting underway. It never really transpired. Now, though, it has.
48.
yeah, when he's in this rhythm, I mean, he's such a wonderful player to watch, but he can score very, very quickly. It's just only when he sort of starts walking around the table too much and stopping and starting, he sort of loses momentum. This is much better from Robertson.
53.
He's in his stride. Not taking too long, no procrastination
50.
over shots. Just getting on with it and getting into a nice rhythm. Purposely held a pink spot. Pink going to black.
60. $61.
I actually tried to just clip the black there and just bring it away from the cushion. It hasn't worked out. So a good long pot. Try and keep the break going.
$64. $66. 69.
He's coming out with some good ones. He's going to need another one here. Very good. Excellent.
73.
And all these shots will give him that little bit extra he's been looking for, searching for.
Now for my next trick.
78.
Yeah. Let's see if you can put one from here. Well, there's 6 pockets on the table. Whoa! Hold on, it's not finished yet. Oh, lucky.
Finally, fluency from the Thunder from down under. Will Lightning strike twice? Find out after the break. During that break, Robertson's average shot time was 18 seconds, nice rhythm. I think he needs to find freedom. Although, that's easier said than done.
Oh, the red on the extreme right of the bunch is available. Possibility of a pot up into the top left-hand corner pocket. Pretty close. Pretty close. What a shot. Okay, cue ball. Bit tight to right-hand side cushion, but wow, what an opening pot that was.
Missed the pressurised black in the previous frame. You very rarely miss these thick. It was into the far jaw, but accurate enough. In fact, that's right up there with one of the best shots he's played all match.
Yeah, that's even better than the opening red, believe it or not, because he's played it with a lot of pace. Knowing full well he was going to be leaving something. In his previous shot, he was playing it with a safety in mind. Excellent black, that.
9.
No room on the pink spot, which is probably a little bit of a help to Mark Williams.
15.
Probably go back up for the blue here.
$16.
Yeah, just looking at the angle. So when potting this blue, he's thinking a few shots ahead here. Pot the blue, pot the red, get a nice angle on the blue, into the pack.
$21. $22.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. He's got to try and hit maybe the apex ball or just left of it as we look. He's hit the apex. Always needs a little bit of luck, and that's okay. He'll settle for that.
27. 28. 35. 36.
He's a snooker treasure, is Mark Williams, and he's still capable of producing these golden performances. Not had a great amount of success against Neil Robertson in the past. He's never beaten the Australian comfortably, but that could change this evening.
44.
It's okay. I would have liked to have been a little bit close to the red,
51.
but he's got a nice angle. You can just back up for the blue here.
$52.
Now, this is the key shot. Don't think there's any reds available into this left corner, so he's got to play some sort of it. Could play for the loose one on the left-hand side cushion, but he's got a nice angle on the blue. He may take the chance to go into the pack and just try and develop one or two. Quick glance at the score. What does he do? Does he play for the loose red near the left-hand pocket? That's what he's contemplating. Does he take the chance and into the pack? He's played for the loose red.
$57.
Don't be fooled by the proximity of the red to the pocket. These are tough. But with the rest tonight, he's knocked in 4 out of 4.
Safely dispatched, but now he has the same problem. He could lose the cue ball here. He's got to hit this pink almost full ball to try and hold the cue ball. If he hits it on the right hand side, the cue ball may go to the right hand side cushion, so he has to play this well. It's not too bad. Full ball on the pink, leaving a red into the left centre. Virtually frame ball this, because it'd be perfect on the black if the red goes in, but these are always tricky. No problem.
66.
After what happened in frame 4, he'll want to knock the black in and at least one more red.
Yeah, okay. $73. 74.
Well, that's the frame over and done with. Now can he make a nice little delicate cannon on those reds? He certainly can. Beautifully played.
79.
Okay, pink is gone in the way of the black into the right corner pocket, but you're playing a red up to the blue. But it's been a wonderfully crafted break, this, from Mark Williams.
80.
Already the architect of the highest break of the tournament, 140 against Kyron Wilson in the quarterfinals.
$85. $86. $93. $94.
I think he's definitely getting a better response out of that Q-tip, generating some effortless backspin there.
99.
Yeah, wonderful break from Mark Williams. Duly appreciated.
Wonderful crowd. Really is a class act. And still playing.
105.
Top quality snooker. That man can only sit and watch and admire what Mark Williams
107.
has done so far.
.651st career century, 22nd this season, which matches the total of Robertson.
110. $114. $119.
And there's a beautiful little deft touch. Now pink around the house, 4 cushions, maybe back for the black into the same pocket. 1, 2. Has it got the legs?
125.
Has it got the legs? It has. Great shot.
Robertson got off the mark, and then Mark went off on a toe clearance. Brilliant. And what a break we've just seen from Williams. Started by not one but 2 contenders for the Hot Shots reel. The opening red and then the black with the cue ball tucked under the side cushion.
One.
Well, what has this man got left? He's had to sit in his chair with the whole of the frame, basically. Can he respond himself? No miss snooker from here on in, basically. Can't
3.
afford another missed pot, missed chance. Particularly the form his opponent is in.
Four.
Was he spotted into this right corner pocket? There's a couple of reds possibility. Yeah. He's not going to attack them just yet. Maybe on his next shot, after his next colour, but he'd love to get one of those reds, particularly the red just above the black to the left. It's available into the right corner.
Ten.
Now, what sort of an angle has he got in the black? I'm not quite sure what he can force the cue ball in, get back for that red into the same pocket. He's giving it a good look. Maybe he's asking the referee if the black is not on a spot or not. He's asking Mark.
Okay.
He's entitled to ask the referee. Well, maybe getting the cue ball clean. I thought he was looking at the black there, but I think he was doing the sportsman's thing there, Phil, just saying to Mark that there's something on the white. He wasn't trying to gain an advantage, but if the referee didn't put the cue ball back in the right position, that he'd be better on the black. He was just squaring that up with Mark. He didn't have the angle to get back for that red into the same pocket, so playing for the red into the middle, back up for the
17.
blue.
18.
And now he's got a nice angle and get down for a couple of possibilities.
$23. 24.
All Robertson can do is keep potting
31.
balls, keep trying to inch back into contention, and you never know.
$32.
Yeah, clever shot, just leaving himself nice little angle on this red. So when he pots the red, he'll just nudge into the base of the pack here. Bring some more reds into play. Beautiful,
40.
beautiful shot. He's blessed with wonderful cue power. Such a great cueist, but when he needs it, a little bit of power, and he needed it there just to get the cue ball back and bring it nicely on the black.
Let's not forget that Neil Robertson was 9-4 down to another illustrious member of the class of 1992, John Higgins, in the Tour Championship final. 9-4 down, won 10-9.
$47.
just having a look. If he pots this red, he'd be on the pink. And with the two loose reds after this next red, he could accumulate enough points that he could leave Mark needing a snooker. So he's looked at the scoreboard a few times.
48. $53. $54.
He may look at the scoreboard once more. Pink will be 60. Red and the black would be 68 with 67 on.
I'll need a minute, Mill, please. I'll need a minute, please.
Referee just asking for a bit of time to see. This is a delicate situation here. Getting the pink right in between those reds. You'd want to have a steady hand for this job, that's for sure. She's done really well there, Tatiana.
Yeah, not the sort to be ruffled.
Thank you. 60. $61.
5 reds left. Therefore, 67 on the table. So this is frame ball.
$68.
Could have been a nicer split. May have to take a red up into the green pocket as we look. So
Neil
frame
Robertson,
not
68.
completely over, but a wonderful break from Neil Robertson nonetheless. Mark Williams needs one 4-point snooker.
One.
That's the exclamation mark on the frame. Robertson pulls one back. Not finished yet.
Five. Six. $13. 14.
snooker's been a lot cleaner since the interval.
21.
Quality has increased.
Neil Robertson, 21, and a frame.
And Neil Robertson has won 2 out of 3 frames. But the fact remains, Mark Williams still looking good. But Neil Robertson, throughout his fine career, has produced some really good comebacks. We talked about the one against John Higgins in the Tour Championship final. In 2017, in the Scottish Open, he was 8-4 down against Chow Yupeng, ended up capturing the title. And when he won the World Championship, went into the last session of a best-of-25 frame match against Martin Gould, 11-5 adrift, and still ended up on the winning side. So all of that means, Ken, there will be no complacency from Williams.
No, and I never expect it from that man. Too old and too wise. We've seen it all. We've seen it many times. It can happen. As I said, if a player gets on a roll, it's one of the hardest things about snooker, of course. You know, when your opponent is at the table, there's nothing you can do and just sit in the chair and wait until he misses. Oh, but there's a mistake. He hasn't left anything straightforward, but a possible pot of a red into his top right-hand corner pocket. Sort of a free shot, really. The only red he could leave is possibly the red that he's taken on. Playing for the blue into the right centre, or the pink. Oh, it's right there. No problem. Yeah, pink available. He looks so composed, Mark Williams. He really does. Looks very, very confident. Striking the ball with complete authority.
7. 8.
The other thing, Ken, he's so laid back, so relaxed. Had a short chat with Mark up in the VIP room before the match. He was up there with Lee Walker, his coach, and it was clear he had no anxiety or trepidation whatsoever.
$15. 16.
Needs to slow up that cue ball. And he's okay. He's slowed up or just got a nice angle. There is still one more red at the bottom of the pack. If he was low on the blue, he could have played for the red that's closest to the right centre, but he's got this other option. But he needs a nice angle on the blue eventually, because the black is sort of still potable, the black, but can't really
21.
Go into the pack off the black, so maybe he might play for it here.
22.
We saw one more red still. It's potable into the same pocket. He played for that now. And this time, he's just purposely left a nice little angle when potting this red. Maybe bring another couple of reds into play.
$29. 30.
Yeah, that's worked out nice. Okay, playing for the blue, but he was always playing that with a bit of pace, because he was always going to be on a ball colour, and he still had that red over the right centre. He's really, how focused he is. He knows this is his chance for a place in the final.
Yes, we're getting ever closer to a brand new name being engraved on the
30.
Champion of Champions silverware.
$33.
If he takes the blue here and goes into the pack, it's maybe one shot that could possibly go wrong. But if it gets it right, oh, there you go. Exactly. Oops! He threw the chalk up and came down and hit him on the head. Well.
Touch and ball.
Whoops. No, he was all right. Missed them.
Touch and ball.
Well, that's incredible, Phil, isn't it? Look at where that ball has landed. Touching ball as well. I mean, another roll of the cue ball. He would have been perfect on the red into this left corner pocket.
Yeah, you can understand his exasperation, can't you?
Mark Williams, 38.
Let's not forget this is a man who earlier this season was the width of a jaw away from collecting £500,000 in Saudi Arabia. Deciding frame made 62, missed a mid-range red. Judd Trump cleared up with 72 to claim the riches.
I think he's left this red. Yeah. Oh, Mark Williams been such a wonderful, prolific long putter. The only problem about this, you see the angle. It's not completely straightforward. It's not straight enough to pot it and come off the top cushion and go back up for blue. Could be going into a red unless he tries to get through the gap. Makes his pot a little bit harder. Yeah, went through the gap, but great pot. It's not too bad. He can pot the blue. Yeah, that's okay.
6.
There's a couple of reds just above and left of the pink spot. Pot into the right centre pocket. One good pot and one good position.
$7.
I know it's only a minor thing, he's right in amongst them now. What will decrease the pressure slightly here for Williams, that awkward green? That's a little insurance policy.
$12. $13.
what's happened in the past doesn't seem to affect Mark Williams. He had a poor record against Kyron Wilson. Defeated the current world champion.
$19.
He hasn't beaten Neil Robertson for 7 years. But now he's on the verge of putting that to rights.
Yeah, really good performance, you'd have to say. Real tough, quality match play. A wonderful champion. And still playing top quality snooker.
25.
Yeah, crowd acknowledged. That's match ball. 59 remaining. And this black, well, we'll just compound it. And in it goes, Mark Williams. Well, it's going to be an interesting final, Phil. Zhao Guodong
32.
tomorrow over the best of 19. Both players in great form.
33.
Bear in mind, Mark Williams is now just 1 win away from capturing 2 massive titles this year. The Tour Championship, and on this form, possibly,
39.
some would say probably, the Champion of Champions.
40.
Yeah, and the way he's playing, he's going to be hard to stop. But Zhao Guodong is playing some wonderful snooker himself. I think it's right. He has all the hallmarks of being a great final.
46. 47.
He may play it a little underarm here. If he can't reach, yeah, there you see it. Not many players, in fact, if anybody can play that in the game, but no problem to this man. He's got all the shots.
53. 54.
Comes back tomorrow to try and win his 36th professional title. It's been a wonderful career. And to be frank, there's no sign of it fizzling out. All of that talk about being at the tail end of his career and losing his powers.
59.
Don't you believe it?
61. Well, Neil Robertson for Mark Williams, 61, frame and the match.
Mark Williams was superb all evening. The 1-3-2 total clearance, the highlight of a match in which the Welshman gets a deserved standing ovation. He's 49 and his form remains mighty fine, and now he's in the final of the Champion of Champions.